Welcome back, family, to our Salon Series. Now, you've learned how to spark initial connections and deepen donor relationships. But what if I told you the real magic, the kind that creates movement, happens when you empower your donors to become the very engine of that growth? And in this final video, we're shifting from that initial spark of the salon to the long-term flame of sustained engagement and exponential growth. We've talked about finding new donors and deepening donor connections. And now it's time to talk about cultivating loyalty and expanding our reach by making them become a part of our movement. Think of the salon as planting a seed. At its stage, cultivating loyalty and expanding our reach is where that seed turns into a blossom. But what if that seed could not only blossom, but what if it could plant 100 new seeds all on its own? It's not about one-time donations. It's about building a community of advocates who are invested in your mission and also become multipliers of your impact. And believe me, this multiplication effect is when you find the 200 new donors, and not just one at a time, but exponentially. And to help you put all these powerful strategies into place, I've created a comprehensive Salon Series action plan and toolkit. It's your essential companion to help you every step of the way. And I'll tell you how to get this. Stay tuned. Now we're going to talk about donor stewardship. Now, you've gained new donors. Now it's important that you keep them. And this is where robust donor stewardship plans come in. And trust me, they're far more impactful than you might think they are. You might be already thinking, I'm already so busy getting donations. But effective donor stewardship is not just a nice have. It's the most powerful retention strategy you have. And it prevents donor churn or turnover and the immense effort it takes to find new donors. And you start that with gratitude. Yet you want to think beyond the generic thank you. Personalization is key. I mean, imagine receiving a handwritten thank you note that was written just for you. How much more valued would you feel? The psychological impact of truly feeling seen and appreciated is profound, fostering deeper, long-lasting connections. Send them personalized thank yous that acknowledge their specific contributions, and then send regular impact reports that show the actual impact their contributions are making. And don't just tell them they made a difference, show them. This type of transparency builds trust and reinforces their investment in your mission. You can also offer exclusive content like insider updates or even early access to news to make them feel valued. Give them a peek behind the curtain. This fosters a sense of belonging and strengthens the bond with your mission. And now we come to our first quick quiz. And remember, this is just for fun and to help you retain this information. The first question is, what's more effective, a generic thank you email or a personal handwritten note, and why? Leave your answers in the comments below. And take a moment to think about that. If you answered a personal handwritten note, you're absolutely correct. And you know why? Because it deepens the connection. It feels personal. It feels like you're a part of the family. Donor stewardship is not just good manners. It is smart fundraising. But more importantly, it shows the donor that you respect their support for your mission. And now we're at section 2, ongoing engagement, keeping the connection alive. Stewardship isn't a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. Create multiple opportunities for your donors to stay engaged. But how do you keep that connection alive long after the initial donation? The answer might surprise you. It's about creating a continuous loop of appreciation and value. You might worry about over-communicating, but consistent, valuable engagement is the key to preventing donor fatigue and fostering true loyalty. I remember I had a donor in Orange County, California. He was a wonderful man before he passed away. And every year at our annual breakfast, he'd say to me, Paul, I only donate to organizations 1, maybe 2 years, but after that, I move on to something else. He was saying that for the last 7 or 8 years before he passed on. He was a wonderful man, but he never left us. And in fact, he left us in his will. Consider small appreciation events to thank your supporters in person. These create memorable experiences that deepen the relationship between you and your donors. Use virtual updates to keep them informed and connected, no matter what their location is. This allows everybody to have access to this information at any moment, at any time, and they can feel a part of the organization, no matter where they are. You can also offer volunteer opportunities for some of the donors that this makes sense. This can be where they come in and help with the programs, but I also like to offer high-level volunteer opportunities for some of the donors. In fact, I'd like them to be a part of the fundraising aspect of the job, because this helps you expand your fundraising access as well, because they're then now leaning on their circle of friends and colleagues. They become an extension of you in terms of the fundraising. And this further makes them feel like they're a part of the organization, because they're not only writing checks, but they're also making a difference by bringing in other individuals to help support your cause. And it moves them up in their social circle as well, because those individuals see them as making a difference in the community. And this is the type of long-term, deep relationships you can create with your donors by bringing them in and having them help you do your job and your organization do its job. They become a part of the community. They become a part of the organization. I remember when one of my clients was a food bank, a local food bank, and they were having a donor appreciation breakfast, and they brought in some of the higher or top donors to come in and sort of see how the food bank ran and showed their overall appreciation for their support. We didn't ask them for more money or anything. We just brought them in and showed them what it was we were doing, how we were using their funds, and that we appreciated them. Every one of them, their donations went up without us even asking them. So that's the type of small events and opportunities that you can bring your donors in and foster a deeper relationship when they can actually see, touch, and feel what their donations are actually doing in the community. Now we're coming to quick quiz number 2. And there is one question. Which of these is not an ongoing engagement? A volunteer day, a quarterly newsletter, a personal birthday card, an annual gala? Leave your answers in the comments below, and I'll try to get to and answer as many as I can. And just think about it. Which one feels like a singular event and the others feel like it's an ongoing touch? Now, if you answered annual gala, that is probably the closest answer. Now, there are ways to make the annual gala a more personal thing, but in this example, the way that it's laid out, it would be the annual gala is the least likely to be a cultivation event for an ongoing long-term stewardship offer. And just remember, engagement is the glue that turns donors into long-term advocates. Now we're at section 3, which is to identify champions. Now let's talk about growth. Now, salons are designed to multiply, and to do that, you need hosts. But what's interesting, often your best future hosts are already in the room at the salon. But how do you spot them? How do you know which ones are the ones that are going to multiply your impact? Well, the interesting thing, it's not always the loudest individual in the room. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just when They're quiet, but they're paying attention and their eyes light up, or they stay the longest, or they talk to some of the benefactors. You need to have a host detector. So when you're at the salon, you need to be paying attention. Who are the ones that are most enthusiastic about the mission? Who are the ones who are asking the genuine, serious questions? Who are the ones who are sticking around the longest? Who are the ones that are making eye contact and paying very close attention? Those are the ones that you want to pay attention to. And not only that, your backup and your most important access to your future next host is to ask the host, the current host, who of her guests or his guests are the most likely to be the next host of the next salon. You want to recognize and acknowledge their enthusiasm publicly, either during the salon or after. You also want to have one-on-one conversations with them to gauge their interest. And then finally, you want to make sure you are providing encouragement and support for the salon should they decide to do it. You really want to do as much of the work as you can. Always look for the spark in the room. And it's quite unmistakable once someone connects with the passion of your mission. And you just have to be looking around and being observant. And this sort of intuition, plus with the wherewithal to be looking forward, is one of the most powerful tools and what propels salons into multipliers. So you have to be a spark detector. So we come to quick quiz number 3, and it's true and false. The quietest person at the salon is never a good candidate for a host. Leave your answers in the comments below. Well, the answer is false. As we just discussed, sometimes the person that's contemplating deeply and not saying much will be your most powerful and most effective host you ever run into. And just remember, champions aren't born, they're developed. Just like flames aren't born, they're sparked. So wow, we've covered quite a bit. And you've learned how to identify that spark in a potential host for your next salon. But how do you turn that spark into a flame? How do you fan that spark and turn it into an advocate of someone that will support you not only at your next salon, but also in the future? And that's what we're going to talk about in how to find 200 new donors in 12 minutes, part 4B. This is part 4A. I'm so sorry, but this video was too long, and so we had to break it up into 2 parts. But we had to give you this information because you need it. You need it for sustainability so you can grow your programs. And so make sure you stay tuned for part B. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And more importantly, please share this video with individuals who you believe it can help, because it's not good to keep this information. We want to share it so all the boats rise. Everybody is able to give back in a stronger way in our community. So please make sure you share this video. And if you want the foundation of all these videos, go back to how to find 200 new donors in 12 minutes, part 1, and that will be linked up here. And don't forget to come back for your toolkit. Your toolkit is going to be in how to find 200 new donors in 12 minutes, part 4B. And I look forward to seeing you there next week. Take care.